Yeah, thank you so much, Jack, for being present. Thank you so much. So here, there's one chat, like I said, for EV Hub. You can let me know and I'll add you to the group. So you'll always be updated for sudden changes or the newest video, or, you know, the things that you want to share together. It's really beautiful and great to join. And then there's the creative part. There's a creative lab of EV Hub where we share things that we made or that you want to work together on. For instance, we did some serious poetry a moment ago. So you're welcome to join that too. But just let me know if you want that. I'll add you to the group, and that's as easy as that. All right, so here we go with the Zen Patriarch, and it's a real delight how beautiful this goes, in fact. So I just want to give a little example of that. It's like you read, I sent you, the participants here, I sent you a piece of text of the Great Way from the third Patriarch of Zen, the 6th century Zen Patriarch. And that specific, or 13th century, anyway, long ago. And this were 3 paragraphs of the Zen Patriarch. Like the expressions are very familiar. I'll show them to you in a moment. And but I want to share something too first, and that is inspired by these 3 paragraphs. Because we're going to take a look at it afterwards. I was inspired to make a haiku of those and combine it to some music and images. Now, the images, this is how it is alive. Like, once you start to enlarge your perception, as it said in the meditation, enlarging man's perceptions, like not thinking in usual patterns or fabrics or constructs, but see what is possible. You have no idea. It's just for you to recognize, that's all. Now, that always like completely astonishes me. The possibilities are just endless. But you have to get in a certain sense, you have to get into action. If you just sit and wait for it, it's not going to happen. Now, so there's not really a doing connected to it, but there's an action of mind connected to it. Now here I was, as in Holland, you go on a bicycle, so I went out for a little ride, and then from one surprise I fell into the other. Another surprise, there's a huge fog. The sun is shining right through the fog. Great, beautiful scenery. It's like totally changing every second. Kind of scenery, very beautiful. But then I discovered something, and this is what I want to share. I will not spill that immediately. It is like in the Zen, in the haiku that I'm going to share, you see that movement becomes still, and stillness becomes the movement. This is one of the expressions in the third Patriarch. Now this is great as an idea, but to actually see it reflected in what you see, or what I was filming it, you literally see it happen. Now this is great. So I'll let you have your own experience with it. That's always, of course, the fun, because yeah, you literally cannot believe your eyes. And this is lovely. So I start with that as a kind of warming up for to dive into the text in a moment. Single essence. The eye never sleeps. Dreams will naturally cease. If the mind let things be. Things as they are. Perceive no differences. All single essence. To understand this, the mystery of oneness, then release all ties, all entanglements. All things are seen equally, and timeless self reached. No comparisons or analogies are fit. In this causeless state, consider movement stationary, and then the stationary moves. Movement and rest go. Dualities cease to be. No description is. This is just an example of that. It's like you just never know what you're going to see. There was no plan of that this would occur. So it's the same with the music, and the music is just suddenly I'm finding myself making it and combining it in a certain sense and see how well it fits. So this is just one way to express it, of course. And but I love it. I love to see that in my self-expression that is given, like, is literally, this is my natural expression of what I discover. And that is so beautiful about it. It's like that. So that is the same for you. In other words, like, you will have yourself. You have your self-expression. It is so close to you that you can't recognize it, but it is still a total part of you. And it expresses itself. Now the only thing is like, you need to enlarge your perception. Like, not holding on to set ideas, not holding on to what you already know about everything. It's like, no, all that can go. That's the great thing about this. And temporarily we still use our body to discover this. Apparently I'm bicycling around and doing things and actually making something. Now I'm actually expressing myself verbally to you, while you already received what I shared. So it's like you start to listen more and more and more, and see that you know all of it. You communicate directly. The rest is literally distraction and thinking that still some forms need to be there. But this dissolves. It ceases to be. It just dissolves like that. Just like we said the other day, it's like, it's melting away. You don't need any of that. No, you're in pure communication. However you can hear that. That's why I use literally everything, like even the Zen Patriarchs, to express this, because the essence, the truth is true, and that is what is expressing itself. The form doesn't matter any longer. That you receive it. That's why you're inspired to come and to listen, or to discover in whatever way that comes to you. You want to be in that. You want to recognize that. You don't want to fall into patterns and repeat the same story again. You know this. You don't want that. So step by step we're releasing our ideas about situations, about what we think we know and all this. See, to stand still with an idea of let all movement and let all motion be stationary, so that stationary will be moving, like will come in motion. That's the same as an idea of creation, like we read that in the Course in Miracles more often, the creation. Creation is not stationary, it's not like fixed. No, the natural attribute of creation is it develops, it literally develops itself, it expands itself continuously. That is its constant state. Now, see, that's a nice idea to become that principle. Literally, it's like all these principles that are being shared, in fact, show you yourself, not anything else. So it's like you become that idea, and you literally see it reflected everywhere. I saw reflected here. It's like movement became stationary. You could see the guys in the boat. They were moving, but they didn't seem to go anywhere. And they didn't even seem to be moving, and still they moved. So that was like a beautiful reflection of that idea, even visually perceived. So anyway, this is just lovely to work with, so to speak. So I'm going to share with you the original text of the Third Patriarch, at least 3 paragraphs from it. So, and then today, what else do we do? So we will have quiet time in this too. That's one thing. We will have like the expressions of the Third Patriarch. We will have a moment of Christ's Treasury. That's also a part of this. And then we have the say the personal, of the individual expressions of anyone who wrote a haiku and wants to share it. that is present here in the online meeting. Okay, so starting then with the expressions from the third patriarch. Okay, so from the Great Way, and I send this to you. Consider movement stationary, and the stationary in motion. Both movement and rest will disappear. So this is a Zen koan that is underneath all of this. Consider movement stationary, and the stationary in motion. Both movement and rest disappear. If the eye never sleeps, all dreams will naturally cease. If the mind makes no discriminations, the 10,000 things are as they are, of single essence. To understand the mystery of this one essence is to be released from all entanglements. When all things are seen equally, the timeless self-essence is reached. No comparisons or analogies are possible. In this causeless, relationless state, consider movement stationary, and the stationary motion. Both movement and rest disappear. When such dualities cease to exist, oneness itself cannot exist. To this ultimate finality, no law or description applies. Okay, we'll go back here. If the eye never sleeps, and this is like the spiritual eye, it never sleeps, all dreams will naturally cease to exist. If the mind makes no discriminations, if you're not looking for differences, but recognizing something else, like the 10,000 things are as they are, of single essence. In that sense, there are no different things. They are as they are. That's the common denominator. Like that's the single essence of it. They are what they are. It's not about the differences. Well, this is really like a miracle principle, basically, expressed in a different way. So to understand the mystery of this one essence is to be released from all entanglements. If you still have an idea, a presumption, you already know something about it is what you think, then you're still entangled to old ideas. And you will not be able to understand the mystery of this one essence. In fact, to know this mystery. When all things are seen equally, the timeless self-essence is reached. No comparisons or analogies are possible in this causeless, relationless state. Relationless state is mentioned this way because, in fact, what is one is not in relation, it is one. It's the same as communication isn't between two things. No, communication must be whole to be true. The same with relation. Like a relation, if relation is whole, there's only one. It is a causeless state. It simply is what it is. Cause and effect dissolved into it, you could say. They became whole in it. Consider movement stationary, and the stationary in motion. Both movement and rest will disappear. Literally in the moment that movement and stillness or stationary come together, there is no difference between movement or standing still anymore. So it's like movement and rest. The whole idea disappears into one idea. When such dualities cease to exist, oneness itself cannot exist. See, it cannot exist, but it simply is. To this ultimate finality, no law or description applies, like it has no ideas about itself any longer. It doesn't need to be described, it doesn't follow laws or descriptions. It simply is what it is. Like, this is the I that I am. This is. And then there it stops, in that sense. There it stops. It doesn't need a law or definition. So this is in the Course in Miracles, like we say God is, and then we cease to speak. That literally is the end. It's the ultimate finality. So in that sense it looks like it's different way formulated, but of course it's the same. Like essence is essence, and the description of it is not going to be it. So the whole idea of oneness disappears in itself. So where's oneness then? Like, that is what it is become. It has become in its totality. That's why it's silly to talk about it even. It's like, no, words fail entirely here. That's the loveliness of literally coming to the end of any description, or like what we do here, in fact. You become completely still. You come in touch with like at least a glimpse of what it is, and that's enormous. That's, well, any description fails, so I will not try to put it into words, but it's really like that. Okay, so now the next part is we have some time for that, and that is the Christ Treasury. So in the Zen Patriarch, we use a lot of one of the other Zen Patriarchs. It is the true Dharma Eye, the treasury of the true Dharma Eye. Dogen is also a Zen Patriarch. And here the word treasury was like, yes, I would love to bring that into this meeting, the idea of Christ treasury. Because what we're talking about is in fact like the recognition of your pure essence. And the pure essence and the Christ is one thing. It's just another word for it. So that's why Christ treasury is really like, that is the pure essence, the recognition of the pure essence. Nothing you give is lost to you or anyone, but cherished and preserved in heaven, where all of the treasures given to God's Son are kept for Him and offered to anyone who but holds out his hand, in willingness they be received. Nor is the treasure less as it is given out. Each gift but adds to the supply, for God is fair. He does not fight against His Son's reluctance to perceive salvation as a gift from Him. Yet would His justice not be satisfied until it is received by everyone. Nothing you give is lost to you or anyone, but cherished and preserved in heaven, where all the treasures given to God's Son are kept for him and offered anyone who but holds out his hand in willingness they be received. Nor is the treasure less as it is given out. Each gift but adds to the supply. God is fair. He does not fight against his Son's reluctance to perceive salvation as a gift from him. Yet would his justice not be satisfied until it is received by everyone